I feel okay, perfect. Perfect. I've always thought there was no way I was able to download these meetings. So I'm glad that I actually figured out how to download to share with the others. So yeah, it's a new week. Welcome to July. So it's a Monday, of course. We're looking forward to
Yes.
seeing what the market has for us. As you always know, the first thing that we start off as we prepare for the trading week is to focus on what are the coming announcements and news that we have to look out for. Where which times can we trade during? Which times are going to be volatile? And of course, for myself, I am mostly focused on volatile trading during volatile times because that's when the market moves fast. So I just want moves that will allow me to go in and out, not having to have a position where I'm holding and I don't know where the where the certain trade is going, right? So I need a trade that as soon as it triggers, I know within the first 5 minutes I make money or make a loss within the first 5 minutes. So those are the opportunities that I'm usually looking at, right? So now, and I only trade on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So we're gonna look at the calendar on Tuesday to Thursday, right? And then we also specifically looking for the red highlighted news events. So these red highlighted news events mean high impact news. That means these news have a higher chance of what do you call it? Higher chance of volatility. I'm also gonna quickly search for. Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. I just wanna double check something. Oh yeah, I just wanted to double check something. So I wanna share back my screen. Yeah. I hope this thing is only recording the Zoom and not my private stuff here. So, because I have WhatsApp and all that open on here. But let's hope it's clear. I'll just have to look at the recording before I share it. Stop sharing. Sorry for that. I think I messed up some stuff here. I'm gonna take us back to a screen just now. Use that screen. I don't even know the screens. Oh yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah. So it's gonna open back up just now in a few, right? So yeah, so I'm more looking for volatile events like these ones. I'm more looking at volatile events like these ones. Like for example, now we have what we call the AUD tomorrow morning, which is like an interest rate decision, and then
Tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow morning around 6:30. So that's the first thing that I'm gonna look at trading, and then we have I think there's also FOMC minutes taking place tomorrow, and then we have another AUD on Thursday, right? Lately, I've been focusing only on
Yeah.
trading the Asian markets. So lately, I'm only trading AUD and JPY currency. So I avoid trading the US dollar high impact because the US dollar high impact is too volatile because a lot of people are always trying to trade it, like your unemployment, NFPs, and all that. So they become very volatile, right? And I love them sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't prefer them on a daily basis, especially since most of the portfolios I trade, some of them as managed portfolios, like the social trading. So as much as I'm trading my own money on some of them, but on some of these stuff, I'm trading in a way trading people's money because they're connected to mine. So I also just try not to find myself in situations where it will raise a lot of emotions, right? Isaac, welcome.
Mm.
Can you hear me, Isaac? I think you muted it. I think you muted. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, maybe his network.
Yeah, but I think it's just unmuted. Can you hear me?
Good evening, Mr. Moran. I can hear you even though there's little glitches.
All right. Thank you. Don't mind the darkness. You know, we live in a shaded world, so it's like the little bit of light that's coming from the laptop is the best I can have for now. So yeah.
No, as long as the message can be well conveyed, that's not a problem.
Exactly. So I was just we're just going through the economic calendar for the week. Basically trying to look at what are the big market movers this week in terms of news, economic decisions, and so on. So personally, I usually focus on high impact news. So I try to only trade during news announcements. And reason being is I like to know within minutes whether my trade is successful or not. So I don't like trading trades where I need to take a lot of hours before knowing if this trade is a loss or is a profit. So I usually prefer trading high impact news where when I trade, if I'm in a trade, let's say maybe I trade when a news announcement has been made, I know that immediately there's that high volatile move. So it's either that high volatile move is going to move straight into my take profit or move straight into my stop loss, right? And that's something that I usually find out within 5 minutes, right? So I focus on that. And so that's what I trade. And so that's what we're looking at right now. So I was just explaining to Sloan that we have the AUD this week, AUD RBA interest rate decisions. And then, of course, it's NFP week for US dollars. But I am mostly focused on the Asian market. So one thing that I've been doing in the past month is I've been trading only the Asian market, meaning I'm only trading your AUD pairs and your JPY pairs. So looking at this calendar, that means I'm only going to trade twice this week, right? So I'm only going to trade tomorrow morning, and then I'm also going to trade Thursday morning. So whatever else that's happening, I'm not gonna be involved in, right? So I'm only trading twice this week, and I think it's also the beauty of being a consistent trader that I know my markets. So if I have to trade twice in that week, I'm okay with that. And there's a chance where I might not be triggered in any of these trades this week. So if it means I'm not making any money this week or making any loss, I'm good with that, right? So sometimes it's about waiting, because the best thing about this is that if these 2 dates, if I'm able to well predict them and I'm able to get good enter as early as possible and I'm able to get good rewards, I'll be able to make maybe 4 times or 5 times or 6 times my risk, especially in terms of these two. If I get them right, I have a minimum 2-to-1 risk to reward. So if I'm able to trade the tomorrow's 6:30 RBA interest rate, then if it goes well into my take profit, I would have made twice my risk, and then I'm able to also do the same on Thursday, and then able to make a bit of money. If I win tomorrow and I lose on Thursday, it's also still good because I made some profit on the Tuesday one, and I'll probably make half of what I could have made if I just decided not to trade after Tuesday. But also after Tuesday, I also have a choice. I can decide that, okay, after Tuesday, if I make more than enough money, if I reach my target for the week, I can then decide that, okay, I'm done for the week, and then that's it. And the whole week I can just sit down and do it and do nothing, right? So it's also the beauty of being a patient and disciplined trader, is that you know when to trade, you know when to react, and you know that sometimes it's okay to let it go. Sometimes it's okay not to do anything. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be focusing on. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to take a look at some AUD pairs. that we might take tomorrow. I'm just gonna switch this thing off here. Just an indicator that I use to guide me on just support some of my trading. So we're gonna be taking a look at AUD USD, right? So we're gonna take a look at AUD USD. I just wanna remove some of these drawings here. And then I usually trade the 15 minutes time frame. This is usually where I take my trades, but then I also move up to the 1 hour, 4 hours, just to also kind of look at the bigger structure to also support my position. So for example, if I am seeing a buy this side, I'm able to refer to the higher time frames to see if it's actually buying, because sometimes you think that it's buying, Ganti on the higher time frames is a sell, and the buy that you're seeing is just a kind of a short retest, or it's even the end of a retest. So by the time you get that big move, you're surprised that, hey, but this is a buy setup. What is happening, Ganti? No, man. On the higher time frame, it's a well formed setup of a sell. And look, every day it's a new scenario. Every day is a new way of looking at the market. Like right now, the first thing to figure out right now is to kind of ask myself, what am I seeing? What are the patterns telling me? And the only way to know what the patterns are telling us is just to start plotting, right? And understand that the first plotting might not be as perfect. So sometimes the first thing to do is just to, okay, I don't know why my trend lines are not, I don't know what's happening here. It's probably my internet connection. Let me just try to load the site. I'm just going to quickly reload it. Okay, sorry for that. Let's just reload, and then we can start plotting. We can start plotting. Even though it's a bit early right now, it's still 7, it's still like Monday. It's a bit early to plot because a lot can happen between now and tomorrow. But then sometimes it's not even early. Sometimes the market can start giving us an opportunity now. Sometimes the market can start giving us an opportunity as early as now. And the earlier we're able to get in, the better. The earlier you get in, the better. Because if you get in as soon as possible, you can get in and you can lock it. And I can just leave it and have a risk-free trade, other than having to enter during those times where it's still so volatile and I don't have a chance to pull out. Guys, I don't know, the connection is a bit sketchy here, so just be patient with me. And I hope we're still on the same page. I hope I'm not all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah. Because guys, every day is different. I try to improve every week in terms of how I teach you guys, and I try to become as practical as possible. So every week is a learning curve. Some week you realize that my teaching is 100% perfect. Like I come in like a Harvard university lecture, and then some days it's like I'm trying to test something new. And so yeah, so it's very important to let's be patient with the process. I just want to be able to get to a point where I'm better able to teach you guys in the most practical way that you guys are going to walk in my shoes and try trade the way I trade. Because I know if you guys can trade the way I trade, I know that you guys will surely enjoy the markets. I know that you guys will surely become consistent traders and you make some good consistent income. And yeah, so now let's plot the dots. So what are we seeing? Can you guys guess, what are you seeing? I'm gonna give you like a what do you call it? They call it a tip. I don't know if they call it a tip or stick. Yeah, I'll just call it a tip for lack of a better word. What are you seeing? Isaac, what are you seeing here?
It's an uptrend.
You've seen an uptrend. Okay, then what structure are you? What pattern are you seeing? What's the name of the pattern that is being formed here?
Pattern. On my side, it's barely. Very.
Haven't you guys seen a bearish flag? There's a pole and a flag. Bearish flag.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a bearish flag. Right? It's a bearish flag. A bearish flag means that this is a sell setup. This is your pole and this is your flag. This is what we call a bearish flag. Right? So that's what we see. Okay. And then obviously, yes, it's an uptrend, of course, in terms of where the buildup is building up to the upside. But then also you must also understand it's a consolidating uptrend. So it's just like so it's good buys for people that trade these consolidations, people that buy here, I mean, people that sell here and buy here, sell here and buy here, sell here and buy here. So we are more of what we call there's a way of retail trading. So we usually trade what's happening outside of the noise. So we don't trade where there's this. This is not where we trade. We trade this. This is what we trade, right? We trade this. We trade breakouts. Okay. So now an example of the same pattern. Let me show you the same pattern here, so you can know what could possibly happen. Remember, if it's a bearish pattern, doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to be a sell, but then that's based on past data. Whenever there's a pattern like that and it breaks, it usually gives us what do you call it? Usually gives us a sell. So I'm just saying that so you know, because you're going to analyze it and then it might continue going up. So you shouldn't now be discouraged and say, no, chart patterns don't work. No. They do work. But then sometimes the market doesn't always give us what we want. But I always trade chart patterns and I get them majority of the times, right? Majority of the times I trade them and I get them. But then also what I do know, the reason why I trade news is because news also allows you to kind of trade against the overall trend. So usually I don't focus much on the trend per se, because I don't plan to hold the position for some time. I'm only playing with the volatile and the reactions of the market during the high impact news. So I'm only waiting for that straight out and then boom. So now look at this. This is something that has already happened. So now, Isaac, are you seeing the same thing that you saw here?
I'm struggling to hear you, you know.
Okay. Are you seeing the same pattern that you saw there?
No, it's not the same.
Or slowly, are you saying it's not the same? Isaac, are you seeing more of the same pattern, a similar pattern?
No, it's not the same. It's not the same, even though it's an uptrend.
Yeah, but are you
it's
seeing
not the same.
a pattern? Are you not seeing a similar pattern? Okay, Sharp, look at this, right? One, okay? And then look at this.
But I think maybe I need to switch from my phone to my laptop because it's very sketchy. I can't see clearly.
Oh, you can't see.
Let me try connect.
Yeah.
Let me try do this.
Let me try to connect.
Are you seeing better? Are you seeing better? Just for today, are you seeing a bit something? Can you see this, no? You see
Yes,
that
not
thing?
bad
You see
now.
it's a flag. This is a flag. This is a flag. This is the pole. It's coming down and the flag.
Well, the
Down in the flag.
pattern is the same.
Yeah?
The bearish pattern.
You see that, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, do you see what happened when it broke out of this box? Do you see what happened?
Yeah, there is a momentum going down.
Yeah, after it broke out of
Broke
the
this-
bearish flag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's what we are expecting, right? So that's what we're looking for here. That's what we're looking to trade in terms of this. Remember, it's a game of predicting. Right now, we're only predicting what could happen, right? So what we are predicting right now, because of the structure that I am seeing, because I am seeing a bearish pattern, I want to categorize this trade as a bearish trade based on the setup that I'm getting right now, right? Based on the bearish flag. Yes, it could still break to the upside and then continue going up as a buy. That's okay, right? But then remember, you need to have one side. You need to have one side and say, okay, I'm going with the sell. The people that try to 100% predict something are gamblers. Tina, we're not gamblers. Tina, we're traders, right? Meaning that we focus on one side and say, this is the side that we're taking. And so if it breaks below, we will try get an opportunity to sell. But now, I don't just enter because it broke below. I don't only look at one thing. I have different ways of confirming, right? So right now, the only thing I've confirmed is that I think I'm gonna sell this position if it breaks out, right? But now, another thing that needs to happen here is I need a chart pattern inside of this box before the breakout. That's going to confirm that I'm gonna sell. Now, why am I saying this? Because before this broke out, it formed a bearish pattern, which is a double top, right? One, neck, up, out. Do you see that? So the only reason why I would have taken a sell on this trade is because this is a bearish pattern. This is what we call a double top. So a double top is a sell. So whenever you see a double top, it's a sell. And you can see that so many times. This is an M, it's a sell. But now look at the difference between this M and this M. The difference between this M and this M is that this double top did not break out. And you see the danger of me. If I had taken this trade, it was going to get here and then reverse with my money and then take me out. You understand? But now, the beauty of this one, I take it because it's a double top that broke out of this area. So I kind of had a higher chance of it actually succeeding. Yes, it could have still came back and continued going up. That's okay. That's another conversation. But then the beauty of this one, I'm only trading what's outside of the trend now. I'm only trading what's outside of the noise. The easiest way to explain it to someone. I'm trading what's out of the noise. So what I am waiting for, so what we are looking for in terms of the position that we have here, obviously it's still 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. right now. So this whole move still has like a couple of hours. But then sometimes we throw, sometimes we just predict. So what I am predicting here is we probably might have an M structure forming here. I don't know how far or how wide, but we probably might have an M structure. And then as soon as we get that M structure around that time and breaks out, we probably might get an opportunity to enter, right? Also looking that this is an area of resistance. This is an area that it's been trying to break out of and it's been struggling. So this is a very critical area. This trend line is a very critical area. So this tells you that as soon as we get something that allows us to break out of this, and the only thing that's going to give us a guarantee that the breakout of this can be so strong is the news. Because you can see there's so many M's that have been forming here, but they couldn't break out of it. But what I do know about the news is the news are going to come flying hard. So at least with the news, we have a higher chance of succeeding, right? And then the news can also give us a fake out because it can also come back here, guys. Remember, you must always expect these things to happen. It can go this, You can have an M, an M, an M, an M, and you can go down, and then you can go up and then take us out. So that's why I always try to enter as early as possible. So this is the place that I want to be entered in around that time. So I know if I'm entered here, I probably might have my target around here. So I know that as soon as it goes in, it goes straight to my take profit. So whatever happens after that is not my business, right? Or if it goes out and my take profit's a bit far, I can lock it in and have a risk-free trade. So whatever happens, if it goes well, I make money. If it doesn't, I don't lose anything because I broke even, right? So that's what we are expecting. So that's the simplest. That's like literally the simplest way to trade for myself. As you can see, I'm not trying to complicate my trading, because the key for me is not trying to predict a setup 100%. The key for me is in my risk and reward. The key thing is that these setup work. For example, what we are doing here has worked here, right? But then if we can go back, you will realize that this pattern maybe failed somewhere. So this also tells me that the setup won't always go well, right? So that's why I have risk management in place. So I have risk management in place for days where the setup doesn't go well. And then I have rewards on days where the setup goes well. So if this setup goes well, I'm able to secure my rewards. Let's say, for example, I am risking 100 Rand per trade. So if this setup doesn't go well, I lose 100 Rand. And if this setup goes well, I make 200 Rand, which is like 2 to 1, right? So if I trade this and it goes well, I make 200 Rand, and I come here and I trade this, it doesn't go well, I probably lost 100 Rand, but I'm still up 100 Rand. So for me, the main thing is risk management and reward. It's risk to reward. That's the only thing I focus on. So I don't spend time trying to figure out what is the 100% strategy or so on. And also the best thing is that I don't trade every day. As you can see, I told you guys I'm only going to trade twice this week. Because also trading a lot also wastes a lot of money, because now you make money on the first trade and now you get to the second trade. Before you know it, you've messed up all your profits for the week. So when you can just focus on two, like right now, I only have 2 setups this week that I'm two sessions that I want to trade. There's a high possibility that I might not make any losses this week, right? Because I don't have a lot of risky environments to be dabbling in. And I've traded AUD news. I know what happens. I know as long as I'm here, it's not like NFP where you'll have a big manipulative move and then before coming back down. Usually with AUD USD, if it goes down, if it's breaking out during the news, it's breaking out. It's breaking downside. Right, it's not NFP where you're gonna have a good setup. It goes up here, takes out your stop loss, and then comes back, and then by the time you're out, that's the only time it's going in your direction, right? So that's what I like about it. That's what I like about AUD USD. So I know as long as I can focus on what I'm seeing, I place my sell stop here. If it doesn't come to my sell stop, it's fine. If it does, it will trigger me inside, and then it will run, and then I can take my profit. Right? If it doesn't, if it goes the opposite side, that's fine. If it goes the opposite side, it's also okay, right? It can go the opposite side, it can run, but it's not my trade, right? So now, before that, I'm also gonna double check on because I've made a confirmation that this trade I'm gonna get a sell out of it. I also want to double check with the higher time frames. Okay, so we're gonna look at the 1 hour. You see what's happening on the 1 hour. We see the same thing. And now look at this. Look at what has been happening here. Look at what has been. So this is the pattern that has been happening. This is what has been taking place. Do you guys see that? 1, 2. Do you see that? Do
Yes.
you see what's happening? Broke out, up, out, up, out. So there's a higher chance that we might have this scenario over and over and again. And also take a look at this. You also need to understand where the market is coming from. Look at what we have in here. We have what we call a double top. Do you remember the double top? This is a double top. This is the double top. And we can also stretch it a bit out. You'll realize that before that double top, we also have the flag, even though it's a much longer flag, but we also have the flag, a kind of a flag, or sometimes not just the flag, it can also be a bearish rectangle, right? Sometimes it can also just be a bearish rectangle, and then a breakout. This was more of like a breakout out of here, and then we get that consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout. So I'm also expecting the same thing, right? And also, you can see, this is also a long-term sell because this was a retest of this structure. So this thing has been going up. It's been going down per se, but it's just giving us like a down, up, down, up, down, up. And it's also a form of manipulation. It's taking out the weekend because every time it goes up, it's taking out the stop losses, continuing down. Going up, taking out the stop losses, continuing down, right? So yeah, so that's what we are expecting. So when looking at the higher time frame, I'm more confident that if it breaks below, we're definitely gonna get a hard sell, right? And I can also look at it on the 4-hour quickly. I can also look at it on the 4-hour quickly. You're probably gonna see more or less the same thing. Can you see that? So this has just given me more confidence that this is gonna be a sell. But wait, not just that, there's also danger, guys. You must also look at the danger. The danger here is I am also seeing a big double bottom. This is a W. So chances are this area is a critical area. So if this area decides to go up, this thing can buy and it can be a big buy. So this is a critical area. So that's why it's right there by the neckline. So if this area manages to break on the 4-hour, there's a high chance that this whole sale that we're talking about is going to fail. But the best thing about that is that it's above where we want to enter. So even if it decides to buy here, we're still safe. We probably would have not been entering the market yet. And then now it's going to be a whole buy. So as much as you have a sell, we're not emotional about the sell. We're also looking at the bigger picture that actually this is also a double bottom that's been formed. And this is the neckline. So there's a higher chance of it breaking out and having a buy, right? But I think we will definitely have a sell. If we don't, it's fine. But I think we'll have a sell. So yeah, we only left for 4 minutes. Isaac, this is the first time you join us. How did I at least try to get the message across?
Pardon, can you repeat again? I couldn't hear you properly.
No, I'm saying this is the first time you join us, so I just wanted to understand if you kind of lend a bit of something there.
Yeah, well, I managed to get something. Usually, I've not been trading patterns, but it's something that is very interesting. And as you were drawing the patterns, I could draw. Looking at how you were doing it, I think I can go along, begin to studying along those lines.
Yeah. It's the most simplest way of trading, and patterns work majority of the times, right? The problem is that the biggest problem that we face usually in trading is that when you gambling, you try trade other strategies that are complicated, because when you want a strategy that when you're saying I have 10,000, you want to risk it all and you want to make 50,000 from it right now, right? So, but when you are more of somebody who's saying I have 10,000 rand, I want to risk 1,000 rand per trade, you kind of enjoy these breakouts, trading and risk management and so on. So yeah, I'm very glad that you learned something in terms of chart patterns, and I think that's it from my side, guys. Like I said, we're only trading AUD this week. So AUD JPY is going to be the only pattern that I'm going to be looking at. And so that's it from my side. If you guys have any questions, we don't have much time. I'm going to get the Zoom paid. I didn't pay the Zoom. I need to get it paid so that we can have we can have longer sessions. Because it's cutting us out just now. So if you guys have any questions, you can just send me a DM. Isaac, tell me, are you in Botswana? Ne?
Yeah, I'm in Botswana.
Oh, definitely. So I'm gonna be seeing you at the event.
Yeah, I've already registered. So just a quick one: where can I find the charts so that maybe I can start studying them? I think I'm interested in the way you are trading.
Yeah, okay, definitely. I'm gonna try send you some videos from YouTube that I usually use. I'm also working on a guide for the charts. It's just not ready yet. I'm also going to create some guides for you guys to better understand the chart. But I'm going to send you a couple of videos that I have so that you can just take a look at the charts.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that will help.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Botswana this month. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting too. I'm excited to see you on this side.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I'll see you guys on Thursday evening, hopefully. Guys, I want to do these sessions more often, but I think as soon as I see that you guys are consistent with attending, then I will look more into making this an every night thing. So for now, I'm only giving you guys one session per week. So until then I will add more days.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moreno.
All right.
Thank
Cheers.
you very much.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.